afternoon, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So it's a Saturday, so it's kind of making ephemera. What we've got here is a little journal, and it's got 5 pages in. And I saw this on Pink Monarch. Now it wasn't lady herself, it was one of the other people that do videos for her. And what I liked about this was it's just sheets of paper folded, and it's a no-sew, and the way it's done, in the back you've got pockets for putting photographs, ephemera, tags, whatever you want. Now I did this from the spring the spring collage, so this isn't in my Ko-fi store, this was one of the monthly subscribers. So I printed off 5 pages, A4, but I cut them down, and then I've got a bit of, it was just cereal or chipboard, and I printed another page off just to cover these, and I quite like it. So you can put pockets and everything, you can put whatever you want on there, and then anything spare you can put in your little pockets. And 5 pages gives you 10 pockets, but it gives you 5 pages. And because they're folded, if you wanted to, you could glue the bottom of that and have another pocket there, which I thought was quite fun. And I think that's what we might do with the next one. So I'm not using spring collage for this one, I'm using the military, men's and military, so we'll just put that to one side. And what I did was I just printed off 5 A4 pages, and I trimmed them down to 10 inches. Yeah, and A4 is 8 1/4. So it's 8 1/4 by 10. You can have 8 by 10 if you want, it's entirely up to you. And what you need to do is you need to fold these pages, turn them over. You can print on the other side if you want, and then just fold them up. And I've folded that one up just under 2 1/2. Turn this one over, and you just have to have it meeting about 1/4 inch, and that should make that 4 inches. Yep. So if you want to do it on a scoreboard, you can do that. Just plugging my mic in because I'm going to sit down. Just and what I'll do is I'll get my crease board out. And then what we need to do is we need to score it down the middle at 5 for 8. So when I trimmed these down to 10 inches, I was left with strips. And what I made myself was I just cut them into just under 4 inches. I left them the same width, so it's just over 3 3/4, and I made 10. You need 10 of these, and that's for joining your pages together. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to glue these pages. So we're making kind of like a tunnel. And just a thin strip. As straight as you can. So now you've got 5 pages, and what we want to do is we want to fold these in half. Now, Pink Monarch, they used, I think it was £210 cardstock, which is quite thick. I've used 120 GSM, which I find is just enough, because if I was making it, you know, this is going to fit in a journal. It's going to be a journal, a little journal in a journal. If I was doing it as a standalone, then I would do it, you know, a thicker paper. I would probably use 160 GSM. If you print on the other side, you won't have white bits showing, you know, when you've got your little pockets, but I'm not bothered about that. I'm more about the pages, and I think we'll have it that way. So when your page is open, like that, then what we want to do is we want to take each one and we need to join them together. So this is where these come in. So we'll take these and fold them in half. Again, you can do it on a crease board. And there we've got all these. So as I said, and make sure these fit in, because when I did my first one I thought I didn't check them. So make sure they all fit in. So I'm just so they fit in no problem. However, it might be a little bit of a tight spot once you've got your glue on. So what I'm using is glue stick, and I'm going to put it in there. And then this is the tricky bit. If you can get both folds in together. Oh, crikey, Julie. See? And then pop it in. And fold it over. And there you've got so that's what it should look like. You should have like a page with that, and we'll glue the bottom of them once we've got them in. Once you've done one or two, you get the hang of it, and then pop it in and fold it down. One of the reasons I use glue stick is because if you use this, it tends to ooze out. So again, make sure you've got that open. And there we are. So again, if you want, you can go over them and crease them. Right, so now what we need to do is we need to glue the pages together. So we need to put these foldy bits in that way. And how I find easier to do this is fold it in there like that, fold it over, and then that one goes in there. So it goes in the top one. So then what you do is you just glue it, fold it in, make sure your pages are level, and then fold it over like that. And it doesn't matter which way these go in, you can't really see these unless you really go looking for them. But so again, pop that in there. If it's a little bit off, just pull it up like that. Going in there. Yep, just make sure you've got them up the right. This isn't this paper doesn't matter which way you put it in, and then just pop it in. Make sure your pages are level. And open it up. Again, pop it in there. Make sure your pages and I'm pressing quite hard with the glue stick, so it's press it down. Turn that round. Fold it over, make sure they're level, and then when you open them up you can just press it down. See, I've got a little bit of glue on that one. So there you are. You've got your 5 pages and you've got your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've got your 10 pockets, and we're going to give this more pockets as well, so just close that. Now I said 10, you really need another one, but we'll sort that out in a minute. So we're going to put that to one side. Now I've cut 2 bits of chipboard, and I've done the chipboard, I measured it with that, so it's 4 by, so it's 4 inches by just slightly over 5, and I've got 2 the same, so these are our covers. I've got some camouflage paper here, and again it's just an A4 sheet cut in half. Doesn't matter which way it goes round, and we're going to stick this on. Just pressing that, kind of put this in the middle, and then fold that over, fold that over, fold that over, and fold that over. And then what we want to do is we want to cut these out. You don't want to go too near, so I'm just slightly mitring to the corner, but not right up to the corner there. You can see there's a little bit. So I'll just take these out. So it's one way using up your pretty papers, and make yourself a little journal. Then this is where I do use, so I do the 2 long bits first, so I do a little bit of glue at the edge, around the corner. No. And then just fold it over like that. Do this one. And if you just tuck these corners in like that first, just at the edge of my bottle now, so I'm just hoping that this project I'll just use it all up and then I can fill it up again. And just make sure that you've got glue right around the edges of the flap that you're going to fold over. And there we've got our first flap. So again, You can use cereal box for this packaging. I just happen to have some of this chipboard lying about, so again it's just about using up any bits of scraps. I just wondered what, because it wouldn't have made, you know, it wouldn't have gone into a cover or anything. It was too thick really to do a tag with, so it came in handy. And you could actually make some smaller ones of these. It would look quite cool. I like to make little books to go on my Christmas tree at Christmas, and I always make the grandkids little books with their names on. I kind of look forward to them now, or some kind of bauble anyway. But yeah, they do make nice little. You don't have to be precise with this, you're going to cover it up anyway. So again, around the edges of the flap. And just bending the corners. Oops. Cannot glue a straight line for the life of me. I think I can leave that on its side now, nothing's going to drip out of it. And there we are. We have our, I think we might use a bit of this map page for this one. And this is just spare bits of paper that I've got while I've been doing the military album. And I will cut this. I should have done it on the guillotine. It's a bit rough. Okay. That one, and now we want some paper to do this, so we'll have a look and see what I've got another bit of the page. So I am going to cut this so that it looks a bit better. And the little bit that I cut off the end will do the other one like that, because we need another one, because we need to put them onto the flaps of the book. Again, just set that in the middle. If you want to cover the whole thing, you can. I always like to have a border, because when you open a book you've got a border and there's no numbers or anything on there, so it doesn't matter which way they go. But what you do need to do is make sure that these pages are the right way, and we'll do this one. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to fold that one in that way and have it like that. So put the glue on this side. Fold that over, make sure that that's right, and then we'll do this one. I'm just going to round the edges, just it makes it look nicer, and just fold it in half. I think this is a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter. And just make sure that you get this in the end one. Like that. And there we've got our two flaps to put in our. So what I will use is I will use the art glitter glue for this. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to pop that on there and just make sure that that is on that properly. Lift it up, and there, because I did it on the inside, you've got a little bit of that and it doesn't look out of place. And when you use that glitter glue, when you're trying to get something, you've only got a small window of getting this right. So I'm putting it on the desk, leveling it on there, and then pressing it in. So I've made sure that the two covers, and then press it down, and there we are. We have our book. So that one's upside down. No, it's not. There we are. It doesn't matter which way it goes. It does, because you can see the writing that says progress. And there we are. Now with this one, what I wanted to do was I wanted to do kind of a string, because it's going in a man's book. I'm not wanting ribbons or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a grommet in, so we'll get the crocodile out. And I'm using the 3/16 and trying to think, so I want, if I have it there, and bring that round there and have a circle here. Right, so we want a circle. I'm looking for a smallish one that goes with it. I've just got silver ones that are sort of like card. Well, that's fine because I've got some that's too big. It's this one. Oops. So I cut 2 out. And this is from the spring kit, but this was double printed. So we've got a nice and what I want is yeah. Or do we want it on this one? Have the grommet there with the string and it fastens. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So again, we'll use the 3/16. I'm guessing the middle. And I'm going to use the antique brass and fit that in. Whoops. Like that. If you find your you've got straight edges on these and you put your straight edge, you do that over your bobble there and just press it down. It just straightens that up a bit, smooths it out. Now what I want is, I want this here, I think, and I'm going to put a tiny hole in this, I'm guessing the middle. Okay, don't know whether I'll get, and one thing with this having pockets in, I don't think I'll need to use this. So I'm using the smaller hole. And what I'm doing is I'm pointing that, hoping that I've got it level, like that. That's a bit silly, Julie. Right, okay, it should have been a little bit further in than that. No, and that's as far as that goes, so I'm going to have to use a smaller. Actually, I don't have to. I can cut that off, but I am going to put a split pin in there, and I do have some split pins. And I think we'll go with one of the big split pins. I'll put that through there, and then just open the legs. You don't want it too tight because obviously you want some room for the string to go around, but you've now got that there. And what I do with that is I just put a little bit of masking tape on it. So we'll just put that there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put like that, that there, and we'll get the string out. Hang on, I've connected it to a page, silly me. So it needs to come out of there. Take that off there. What a silly willy. Right, so now we don't need as much masking tape. And the one good thing about masking tape is you can ink over the top of it. And because this is going on card, normally I would tell you to put it down that way, but because it's card, it's not going to bevel anything. Shove that there. And I think what we'll do is we'll put that little bit of masking tape, we'll rip this, and we'll put that there. And I'll put that little bit over the hole there. That protects that. So I'll remember when I make another one. I'll probably use the big bite. Okay, so what we want is we want this to go round and fasten. So yep. And a granny knot. It's left over right, right over left, and I've still, no I've not. And this goes round. Now you can have it go round twice and then catch this. We'll pop that under there. Now you can either have it like that with nothing on the front, or you can put it round again and then, and I think that's what we'll do. And there we are. Perfecto, apart from the couple of mistakes, but I'll show you them. take it off, open it up, and then what we want to do is we want to glue this down and make a pocket there. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure, because then you won't be able to put too much in there, it's just like slipping bits in, so that's what we'll do. Let's see what it's like with the first one. So I'm just putting a little line of glue. It's kind of an accordion journal. So there we are, we've glued them up, but you've still got your pockets, and it's only the one side, so just make sure you don't do your pages, so lift your page up when you've done that. And again, whoops, just a line of glue. Take your page out. Well, move your page, don't take your page out. Just move your page out of the way, that's what I meant. And I quite like these men's and military papers, because they're, they're men's colours, so you can do all your different stamps that you've got. You can you can do your vintage stamps, but there's lots of stamps. Tim Holtz has some ones with moustaches and things like that, and I don't have them, but I've got the scientist, I think it is, or is it the professor? Can't remember now. But you can do all them. So there we are, so we've got that. So now it still opens, you can still put things in there, tags, but you've now got an extra, so you've got 10 pockets there, you've got 5 pages, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets at the top. So that is like great for just put on there, fill that in there, and we'll get it. I've only done the first couple of pages, so I think it's maybe a bit too thick to go around the inside the belly band. Probably a bit too thick to go in there, so I think what we will do is, I do have some pockets that I'm going to put in here, and they're going to be gusseted, so they will, and it will pop in one of them. If not, I will make it, because it will fit in, it won't bulk it out. As you can see, there's plenty of room to go in these pockets because of the way the fins are. But there you are, and it looks quite nice. You can see, just, I could maybe do one of these and do like a boxed fold over, just to pop it in. But there you are. So I hope you get something out of that. It is easy. It's a little bit fiddly, but once when you're getting the hinges and everything in, but once you've done one, it does become easy, and you get your own rhythm. And once you've done one, you can do plenty more. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.